Welcome to the driver training for the MVTRAC license plate recognition system. Today we are going to discuss the various functions of the MVTRAC program and exactly what it will take to be successful with it. Here you will see the three most important aspects of the program. If you successfully adopt these three items, you will produce the best results with the camera system. First, make sure you hit Begin Shift and End Shift within every 24 hours. These buttons will draw in the most recent hot list and export all of your read information for historical reasons. Some people choose to hit these buttons more frequently than every 24 hours to ensure their data is secured. This is encouraged if there is a large amount of reads at any given time. When the hit alert sounds, there are three main actions that will need to be taken. First, you will need to click on the Set Disposition button on the right-hand side of the screen to tell us what kind of hit it is. We will go into this in more detail further into the presentation. You will then need to print the order for repossession. This can be done by minimizing the program and locating a folder on your desktop. In that folder, you will have an order for repossession. You can click on the order, turn on the printer, and then hit Control-P or the print icon, and your order for repossession will then print out. Please note that you will need to turn the printer on and off with every use to preserve the battery life. Once the vehicle has been secured, it will then need to be processed on the Recovery Manager Pro website. This is commonly done by the office staff, but it is very important that the repossession is processed immediately to ensure client satisfaction. While running the system, you will need to continuously monitor it to make sure everything is operating as designed. First, you will need to make sure you are always connected to the internet. There is a little icon in the lower hand corner of the screen that will be green when connected and gray when not connected. Second, you will need to monitor your databases to make sure they are being updated every 24 hours so the camera system has the most recent information. Please note that the word databases and hot lists can be used interchangeably. Third and most important is your total number of plate captures. The MVTRAC system is based on a model of scanning a minimum of 100,000 plate reads per month, which will require at least 5,000 plate reads per day, Monday through Friday. When the computer system boots up, it will automatically load the VZ Access Manager and connect to the internet. It will then launch the MVTRAC program automatically as well for you to log in. You will then need to log in using the username and password that was provided to you by your MVTRAC representative. If you do not have a username and password or are using a generic company login, please send an email to the MVTRAC team at helpdesk@mvtrac.com to request one. In the third field titled Location, you should see the driver name and cell phone number. If this is not your name and phone number, please erase it and type your information in, so if a hit is received, we have accurate contact information to follow up. If your information is not preloaded in this field, your name and phone number will need to be entered every time you log in unless instructed by your MVTRAC representative or your company. When you are logged in, you will see this screen or something similar. The program will either default to the most recent image captured or a blank screen if none were captured. This is because a rolling video feed can be a distraction for drivers. If you would like to view what the cameras are looking at, press the color button or COL. The IR button will view the infrared cameras, but is not frequently used. The Take Picture button will store a photo on the server. It is also not commonly used. By clicking the Cam Mode button, you can select which cameras you'd like to view, traffic or forward-facing cameras, or parking or side-facing cameras. Please note that all four cameras are scanning all the time, and Cam Mode just allows you to select what to view. Also note that the Admin button will be grayed out when you log in because you will not have access to these features. Here you will find the Begin and End Shift buttons. Because the program is designed for a touchscreen interface, you will need to click the buttons twice a little slower rather than double-clicking. After hitting Begin or End Shift, this message will be displayed. Make sure it doesn't say End Shift Synchronization Failed or similar. This means that you are not transferring data and may not have a hot list uploaded at all. First, verify that you have a good internet connection If so, try again in 10 minutes. If the problem persists, contact the MVTRAC team. When you do get a hit alert, this is what will appear. If you split the screen, the left side of the screen is read information, such as GPS coordinates, date and time, plate image, and capture information, and a color overview image. The right side of the screen is hit information that was drawn in from a hot list when the camera system found a match. This will include the plate from the hot list that matched the read, the state, year, make, model, debtor's name, complete VIN, client name, and the date the vehicle went up for repossession. On the top banner, it will tell you what hot list the vehicle came off of. This will typically say either MVTRAC National Hot List or your own company hot list. At this point, click on the Set Disposition or Set Disp button. This will allow you to tell us if the vehicle was found at a given address, the hit occurred on the lot and was already repossessed, or if the cameras found a car you weren't looking for, you would mark it as a unique hit. If the state doesn't match on the plate, or if it is a misread, mark it as no action. You will see the disposition appear on the hit once it has been selected. Now you can minimize the program. On your desktop, find a manila folder titled MVTRAC Order to Repossess. Double-click this folder and you will find all the repossession orders. The newest order should automatically be at the bottom. The file will be titled Year, Date, Military Time, and License Plate. This will allow you to verify that you are looking at the correct order for repossession. Now double-click on the correct file. Turn the printer on and off every use. The printers run on batteries and will not operate if the battery is dead. The order will open in a web browser. Verify that it is correct, then hit Ctrl P or the print button, and the order will print out. Now make sure the state the vehicle is registered to is the same one as on the order, and always VIN the car. Drive the vehicle to a safe place and call it into your local police department, as well as calling it into your office right away to make sure the repossession is processed. Please note that it is also important to call your office and let them know if a vehicle is not repossessed, because someone from MVTRAC may call to verify if the car was recovered. This is what a hit email will look like. These are typically sent to the owner of the company and anyone else that has been selected. As you can see, it includes all the information that is provided in a hit. Now we can discuss the 3 things that will need to be monitored in order to be successful with the camera system. The first is being connected to the internet at all times. The box shown below represents a program called VZ Access Manager. When this box is green, it means you have a connection to the internet. When the box is gray, it means you are not connected. Double-click the box and you will see the program appear. Select Verizon Wireless and click Connect in the lower right corner of the program. It will appear in the same location as the button that now says Disconnect WWAN. When you are through looking at this screen, you can minimize it. However, the program cannot be closed or it will lose connection. On the MVTRAC program, under the Review screen, you will be able to monitor your total reads and your databases or hot lists. Here you will find 2 numbers. The second number is your total number of reads. This is the number that should be monitored to make sure you get at least 5,000 every shift. The first number is the reads that have synchronized back to the database. The only reason to be concerned with this number is if it is 0. This means your reads are not synchronizing. Under Databases, you will find the time your databases or hot lists were most recently synchronized. You will see the MVTRAC National Hot List, Manual Reports, and your company's hot list. You want to monitor your company's hot list and the MVTRAC hot list to make sure it has been updated within the last 24 hours. Also, under the Review screen, if you click on the reads, you can scroll through to see all of the reads that have been captured. This is simply a function of the program and is not frequently used by drivers. If for any reason you cannot read a certain plate, like for example when a car is backed in with no front plate, you can click Search Entry to manually enter the plate number in. Type the plate number in and hit enter or click VLP. This will tell you if the plate matches any of the plates that are up for repossession on the MVTRAC hot list or your hot list. You can also click reads to see if the plate has been spotted during the shift. Once the plate has searched through the database and returned with no match, it can then be entered into the hot list temporarily by clicking one of these buttons and hitting save. You can also type a message on the screen before hitting save. This is commonly used for demonstrating the product. If you have any more questions on this or how to effectively demonstrate the product to clients, please contact MVTRAC or your MVTRAC representative for assistance. Now we will discuss a few of the features of the Panasonic CF-52 laptop that comes with the MVTRAC package. Most vehicles are run during the day and night. That is why it is important to know how to adjust screen brightness. By holding the function button down, you can hit F1 and F2 to adjust screen brightness. You can also adjust your volume by holding the function button down and hitting F5 and F6. With the function button depressed, hitting arrow up and down will activate red lights to illuminate the keyboard. This is a replacement for a backlit keyboard. If you ever notice the keyboard is entering numbers instead of letters, it is probably because the number lock is on. The num lock button will turn it off. You can tell it is on or off by looking at the indicator light. If you stop running the cameras for less than 4 hours, you can hibernate the computer by holding function and hitting F7. Bring the computer back up by hitting the power button. When the computer does come back up, you will need to reconnect to VZ Access Manager. If you are out of the vehicle for more than 4 hours, always power the computer down completely by going to the Start menu the same way you would power down a normal computer. Your system has a charge guard installed designed to protect the battery. This will also cause the cameras to stay on for 15 minutes after you get out of the car. The laptop has 3 things that need to be plugged into it: power, network cable, and printer. There is a Wi-Fi switch in front of the handle that should always be turned on. If you ever have trouble connecting to the internet, make sure the Wi-Fi switch is turned on. The processor can take 3 to 5 minutes to boot up, so sometimes the cameras will not come up right away. Make a habit of bringing the laptop inside to a secure place. However, make sure the laptop is brought inside every day when it is cold outside. On rare occasions, if it is extremely cold, the cameras can take 40 to 90 minutes to warm up. When the key is pulled out of the ignition, it will take 15 minutes to power down. Cameras will need to be cleaned from time to time. It is important to use water-based products only. Windex and other cleaners will damage the lens. If you ever see this screen, the processor is not connecting to the computer. When you see this, restart the laptop and then locate the processor on and off switch in the upper right corner of the processor on the side the cables plug into. Turn it off for 5 seconds and turn it back on. If the problem persists, contact MVTRAC or your representative. Do not unplug cameras or tamper with the installation in any way unless instructed by an MVTRAC employee. There are many different troubleshooting steps that will be taken, and it is important that they are done in order and properly documented by the MVTRAC technician. For technical support issues, you may email helpdesk@mvtrac.com. This will automatically generate a support ticket that will then need to be addressed by a technician. Make sure your email includes the computer name that is found on the top of the keyboard. It will begin with the MVT-PTB and then have a 4-digit number. If you are troubleshooting with an MVTRAC technician, they may ask you to click the MVTRAC Help Desk. When you do, you enter in some basic information, including your computer name, then hit Connect, and it will allow the technician to take over the screen to troubleshoot. This concludes the MVTRAC driver training. Should you have any further questions at this time, you may contact your MVTRAC representative for assistance. Thank you for your time, and we look forward to having you as a part of the MVTRAC team.